Hi friends! For the LG6 Level 4, you need to be able to give me another piece of evidence for the Big Bang. You can use other notes, you can use Google, or you could, I don't know, use this video that you're watching right here. There's actually one really big piece of evidence for the Big Bang that we don't cover in class because usually we found out in the past it's usually way too over a lot of people's heads that it's not really worth it to go over to make everyone know it. So, for those of you that are wanting level 4, here's a good one for you to try and wrap your head around and explain back to me in as simple of terms as you can. So, it all starts with these two guys right here, where they were using this. What this little funky guy actually is actually a radio telescope. This radio telescope is really detecting light. It's just a type of light that you and I can't see. Anyway. These two guys were using this radio telescope to look around in the universe, studying different galaxies and things of that nature. Well, what they discovered was no matter wherever they looked in their experiment, they always kept running into the same issue of like this little annoying static that was always in the background. So they did accounting for, okay, maybe is it a radio signal from a nearby radio station, TV station? They accounted for all of that, static was still there. Then they thought, okay, maybe it's just really dirty, that's why we're getting a bad signal, because the satellite, because the telescope is not clean. So they cleaned it all out, made sure it was really clean, still didn't get the right signal. So finally they just gave in and were like, okay, whatever. What if we actually try and tune in to the signal? What if we actually look for it and map where the signal is stronger or weaker and try and find it? Two things came from that. One, they found out this signal was everywhere. No matter where they looked in the sky, this signal was everywhere. Second, it was stronger though in certain parts. Some parts the signal was a little stronger, some parts the signal was a little weaker. So they eventually took all of their findings as much as they could and they started mapping it out across the sky. They overlaid wherever they saw this signal at, and this is what they found. When you and I look at the sky right now, and this is what they were thinking, when you look at the sky right now, you see blackness. You can see distant stars and galaxies far off in the distance, but everything in between that, you just see darkness. What they found out, though, is if you overlay for light that you can't see, so specifically this light that they kept detecting wherever they looked, this is actually what the universe looks like. Ooh, weird. So initially, I'm sure a lot of you are going like, wait, what am I looking at? What you are looking at is we've taken that light signal that they were detecting, the one that we can't see, and we've color-coded it. The areas that are darker is where the light isn't as strong. The areas where it's more red and yellow is where the light is stronger, so brighter. So if we could color the sky to see this light at night, this is actually what the sky would look like at night. The sky, or space, is full of this light that is everywhere. It is permeating all of space everywhere, no matter where we look, up or down or wherever, there's always this light. This is referred to as the cosmic microwave, cosmic meaning space, microwave meaning the wavelength that these light waves actually are, cosmic microwave background radiation. Backgrounds meaning it's just always there, we don't see it, but it's still there. There's this radiation, this cosmic microwave background radiation, that is just permeating all of space. So they started to try and wonder and think, what made all of this light? Light has to come from something. Here's the idea of what they concluded. They looked at all of the stars in the universe, and even if you were to take the light energy from all of the known stars that we have, trillions upon trillions of them, there's not enough heat from all of those stars to make that light. So it didn't come from stars. So what made it? Before I get into that, let me show you this little picture right here. Okay, so this is a picture of some really, really hot metal. And as you can see, we have some of these that aren't very hot, and then you have this end here that is clearly very hot. Notice that the hotter it gets, and you start to see it right around here, it starts to glow a little bit. And then it glows a little bit more until finally you get up, actually it's so hot it's actually giving off yellow. Fun fact, the wavelengths are getting shorter the hotter it gets. Just saying. Anyway, so when it was really hot, it was actually giving off light. So if we apply this to this background radiation, this light that we see everywhere, then hypothetically, what had to have been happening was there had to be a time in our universe when our universe was so hot that literally space itself was glowing. All of the things that were in space, all of the little free floating atoms, were actually giving off light at the same time. Bonkers. How do you make all of space that hot in its current condition? It just doesn't make any sense. But if you take space and if you make it smaller and make everything really, really, really close together, then you actually make a condition when space is extremely hot. So much so that it would give off, lo and behold, this much energy. So what you're actually seeing is you are actually seeing old ancient light that has just been stretching across our universe from the time of the Big Bang itself. You're actually looking at light given off by the Big Bang. Taking a Big Bang. So yeah, that is the evidence for CMBR and how it's evidence for the Big Bang Theory, that it actually is this visible light that we can see, where the best explanation we have for its source was a universe that was once incredibly small, incredibly dense, incredibly hot. There's nothing else that we can think of that would have made this light that is everywhere unless it was a much smaller, hotter universe like what the Big Bang says it was. Okay, so please take that knowledge, try and synthesize it, and just, you don't need to give a huge long explanation like I just did. Just explain to me roughly what is the cosmic microwave background and how does it actually give evidence for the Big Bang. Okay, later.